Hey Damien, hey back with Seduce me. So last time we started Damien's route and we did all of Melix's arc, and now we are being visited by Diana for the first time. And let's just skip all of this until I don't know, till something interesting pops up. Here we go, something different. Timon walked over to me and stood before me, looking at me with concern.
We'll protect you. Don't worry.
Aw, I had a feeling that he was telling the truth, or at least a hopeful and comforting thought. Damien gently took my hand in his and brought it up to his to kiss my knuckles, however, making me blush and forget what I was thinking about. Sound of collective chuckles and playful snickles whispered through the air, making me blush even more, but as Damien sighed and cleared his throat, he left it stopped.
Students, you'll be having a substitute for class today. Everyone meet.
Miss Diana.
So I'm actually going to record this part because I'm going to pick the other options because I believe that last time we were quiet and this time we won't be.
Thank you, Dean. You can go now.
With a wave of Diana's hand, the dean left the classroom, closed the door, and left the area. Diana smiled at us, making my stomach turn. What was he going to do?
So, history. History. Such a silly thing, isn't it? I mean, what do we care about the past? We're in the present.
The rest of the class, including Naomi and Suzu, hesitantly nodded in agreement, sure about his new teacher, but willing to listen to more of what she had to say.
The present is so full of wonderful things. While the labors of the past are the reason we have many things, it is our chance and privilege to utilize what has been given to us.
Her charm was almost infectious. The class was practically starting to eat out of her hand. I looked around to see classmates grinning and agreeing with Diana. I pressed my lips together as I listened further. I had no choice.
What's even funnier about human beings is that some of the bits of history we hear as either made up or completely biased to one side. It's like a story you read as a child. You hear of the princess and the prince, and they live happily ever after. But what about the family she left behind? What of her friends?
The students listened and agreed intently to her words. I could tell, however, that these words were all targeted to me.
The original story of the Little Mermaid, a perfect example of biased opinion. Here we have a girl who thinks she can be with this prince, but this prince has to marry a princess. What would happen if the mermaid had her way? What makes the mermaid so important that the princess has to suffer the consequences?
No, it doesn't matter. The rest of the class turned their heads to me. Naomi and Suzu looked at me with equally surprised looks. I kept my eyes to Diana. If I was a mermaid, I wasn't going to let the princess take my prince anyway. Diana stared at me before smiling and turning her body to fully face me.
Oh? And why does it not matter?
Because I know you're the princess and you're a bitch. Shut up, asshole. The story isn't about the princess. The story is about the mermaid and the prince.
But that is exactly my point. While the story talks about the mermaid and the prince's romance, we don't see the problems of the kingdom the prince rules. While we are all fixated with this love story, we ignore the fact the kingdom would fall apart without the marriage between the prince and princess.
Lito, I mean, the prince is still a prince and you would still get someone to give him sense. So, from the prince's point of view, it's pretty much fine. The princess, however, would maybe be a bit in more trouble, since then do not have a husband to ever gave him sons or something like that. She kept her eyes to me as she spoke. I knew she wanted to make a word stick in my mind, but I didn't listen. It was one thing to be a fictional story, it was another to try and ruin someone's life for selfishness. Diana chuckled and looked back to the class.
Well, luckily in the real story of the Little Mermaid, the mermaid knows that what she was doing was wrong, and she threw herself into the ocean, turning into sea foam.
Some of the students that surrounded me mumbled in surprise, obviously not knowing the real story. However, Diana was wrong once again. That's not true. Once again, the class looked to me, and Diana faced me with another smile.
Not true. How so?
The trade-off for becoming human was marrying the prince or turning into sea foam. However, she was also given the choice to kill the prince and turn back into a mermaid. The mermaid didn't because she loved him and sacrificed herself for that love. That is a story worth telling, not some princess getting her way, but of a tragedy that had befallen on a girl who only wanted love. The class applauded me with Suzu giving me her usual punch to my shoulder, Naomi smiling at my logic. Diana, however, finally grew an almost angered face at me.
Interesting. So what you are saying is that the princess should be given no mind.
As was usual back on those days, I'm guessing, I think. The story is not about the princess, the story about the mermaid, and the mermaid should have gotten her prince.
Even at the risk of a kingdom falling apart?
Again, I don't think the kingdom would have fallen apart, even if the entire world fell apart around them. But it is not a real love, and the princess needs to realize this. Oh my god, why is everyone applauding? Guys, we're all being a bit too over the top, don't you think? The applause that followed that intensified with whoops and hollers. Hollers? I don't know. I felt a wave of confidence roll through my body. Diana wasn't going to win. I wasn't going to let her. Diana then stopped talking and looked to the clock on the wall, reading it quickly. Its class had barely begun. Why was she looking at the time? Diana then leaned against the blackboard and smiled to us. I became worried.
You know what? School isn't important. Everyone, go ahead and head home. Take the week off.
Many of the students filled out, chatting to each other about new impromptu plans. Suzu was beyond happy, but Naomi was hesitant. Before we could pack up and leave, however, Diana stepped to us.
Excuse me, little miss. I'd like you to stay a little while. There's something we need to discuss. You two can head home.
What are you doing and what are you thinking?
What? Do I not make a good teacher? I figured you should have a little lesson, so I took matters into my own hands.
Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
You really think so, dear? And what makes you so sure about that?
What is making me so sure? Why was I confident? Were the boys worth this? Diana's using her powers on me. Anna lifted a hand under my chin and ran her tongue over my lips, licking her own. I could feel little shots of energy zipping from under my skin into my chin where she held me.
Now, let's have a little taste of that sweet, virginal sexual energy.
Ah, that always sounds and feels so weird and wrong. I watched as she leaned in, ready to kiss me and take my energy. Half of my body felt elation at the idea. The health completely rejected it, didn't want her to even touch me. The Damien. Suddenly Diana stopped in her tracks. Why can't we go for the demons at this part? Why can't we just yell their names which I forget? Although then Diana would know them, so that would probably not be very good. Suddenly Diana stopped in her tracks.
Damien? Who is...
Then he dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is Damien?
Let's see how she insults Damien. Also, she even told us to recheck what we liked with Jade, who is supposedly the best of them. What the hell, Diana? Why are you like that? I felt myself nod in compliance. The youngest. Diana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The bastard's son with you?
I nodded once again, but this time it was partly my own decision to reply. Diana let out a sound that mimicked the cat's purr before stepping away from me.
All right then. Well, if it's the youngest son you're infatuated with...
Diana circled before kissing my nose, but I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy and recoil. Huh? Does she usually do that? Diana then turned to the desk and sat on the woods, crossing her legs.
You can go now. Remember, no class for the rest of the week.
Yeah, this portal is back home. After what seemed like hours, I finally woke up, slightly refreshed. My body knew that if I slept any longer, I'd be up all night. This is not part of the plan of the day. I rubbed my eyes and sat up, letting a soft groan escape my lips. In response, something beside my bed shuffled, causing me to look over. I didn't know what I was expecting. Beside me, sitting in a chair beside the bed, was Damien, rousing himself up to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
Oh, you're awake. How do you feel?
Oh, yawning 'cause you yawned. I'm better. Damien nodded before he looked down at the bed, taking my hand into
I'm
his.
sorry. This is all my fault.
How? Damien, it's not your fault.
No, it is. I was the one who wanted to come to the human world. I convinced the others to come with. If I never did that, we'd never have put you in danger like this.
I quickly reached over and put my finger on his lips, stopping him from going any further. Didn't want to hear anymore. Damien, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Damien's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was desperate enough to hunt him down. One thing bothered me though. Why did his dad scorn him? Why did Damien want to run away? The others seemed a little obvious, but Damien was a mystery. However, before I could be vocally curious, Damien suddenly held my hand in his hands. I think that might be one of however too many. Damien? Damien frowned and simply held me.
I'll show you everything.
Okay. Damien let a small laugh, a hint of depression lingering in the breath he let out, before he focused his energy into my head. My vision blurred, and suddenly I was back into the demon castle. I expected to see Damien wandering around the halls with his brothers. However, I found him alone, sitting on the foot of the throne, cheerfully curled into a ball. The room smelt of blood, but my eyes couldn't look away from the tearful Damien. What the fuck? Damien? I knew he couldn't hear me, but I instantly called him out. He looked lonely. Where were his brothers?
Why are you crying?
Oh, we also figure out that our grandfather was the one that helped them by going with Damien's route. Yay! Damien picked his head up suddenly, as I did. The grandfather?
Who are you? What do you want?
Oh, this is the first time he speaks with our grandfather.
I just want to know if you're okay.
Who are you?
Don't be afraid. I'm just a friend.
Friend?
I stared completely in shock. When did my grandfather knew them? Everything started going in fast forward. I saw Damien talking to the voice of my grandfather, seeing his face go from happy to surprised to fascinated, and slightly randomly. There were even moments when Matthew joined him, letting Damien speak for the voice in the air. It was all unbelievable. Here my grandfather spoke of the human world, painting it to be a beautiful world full of opportunity. What did my grandfather know about all of this? What is going on? My mind slightly spun at the idea that my grandfather delved into magic and demons. Eventually, the world around me slowed down to see the boy standing before the empty throne. He looked determined, stout, and ready for something to happen. The demon stepped forward and held his hand out to the throne.
O tenebris portas, apiri ad nobis, laudetur exitum, desiderium.
Huh. My grandfather started to chant a phrase unfamiliar to me, letting a rapture into the air around the voice. Gusts of wind started to rush through the room like a storm rushing in. I watched, however, as a small tear opened in the air in front of the throne. It glowed an unholy purple color, pinking into a very familiar pink cafe. Oh, really? No way, that's... Quickly Sam rushed over and drove his hands through the tear, pulling it open and making it larger and revealing the Pink Lady Cafe with my grandfather on the other side. My grandfather held out his hand, ushering the boys to come over.
Hurry up, boys! I can't hold it open for long!
Instantly the boys ran through the tier, climbing through and almost crashing into the tables and chairs of the cafe. I felt myself move through as well, joining them as my grandfather closed the portal. Oh my god, I can't believe the first thing of the human world they saw was this. The boys looked around the space, almost mystified at the sight. My grandfather laughed, out of breath, before sitting down at one of the nearby tables. I wonder if Kay knows about this. Is she know our grandfather?
There now. Welcome to the human world, boys. Let's see. Kay, make us some coffee, please. These boys need a drink.
Oh my god, she does know. I turned to see Kay, the owner of the cafe, and the only other person in the room besides the boy, smile and quickly get to work on making coffee. I was dumbfounded. She knew about them? I felt myself getting dizzy at the thought, but I shook my head out and tried to focus on what was going on. I had no idea Kay knew about this. Damn. My grandfather looked at the boys up and down before chuckling again. The boys must have still been speechless.
You'll need a spell to cover yourselves up. Humans don't exactly have horns or parade around naked.
The boys looked at each other before collectively nodding and focusing their energies. For my eyes, they went from demons to human-looking demons. They looked at each other, ecstatic at their new looks. My grandfather, however, cleared his throat and brought attention back to him.
Now don't be rude to Kay now. Sit and enjoy some coffee. It's the best in town.
The boys obeyed, obviously in his depth. I looked at Damien's face, and he was almost in tears with joy. I could tell that he was beyond happy to be in the human world. I almost felt like crying for him, but I couldn't understand why. Maybe it was his facial expressions, or maybe it was because I would meet him soon after this fact. Eventually, Damien stopped the magic, lowering his hands and letting me come back to reality. I held on to Damien, who kept a hold of me to make sure I didn't faint. Everything felt so wrong, and yet it all made sense at the same time. My grandfather knew magic. My grandfather helped the boys. He cast a spell on the mansion and on me to protect me.
I was the one who convinced everyone to come to the human world. I was also the one who asked that man, your grandfather, to bring us.
So he helped you come true. What happened after?
He gave us a wallet full of fake IDs and maps of the world. He told us to go anywhere we wanted and that he would pay for everything so we wouldn't have to use our magic. It was like he made us human.
Your son's so happy. Damon laughed nostalgically. I could tell he was happy remembering how my grandfather had helped. Still couldn't wrap my hand around it, but the answers I wanted were 6 feet under and unreachable now. He really wanted to be human. Damon looked at me, his eyes glimmering in both hope and shame.
More than anything, I still want to be human. I don't mean just in looks. Everything.
Damon looked to his hands, lowering them to the bed between us.
Humans don't read minds. Humans don't hurt people like demons do. I didn't ask to be a demon. I want to learn things, go places, and not have to be bound by magic or anything.
Oh, can we hug him? Please let me hug him. I wanna hug him. I stared. It was pitiful to see him like this. He looked almost like a child, begging me for something he really wanted. I wanted to help somehow. I just didn't know how.
It's all right.
Damien?
You've already done so much for me and my brothers, sheltering us, letting us continue to live here.
Damien frowned, though, gently caressing my cheek with his hands.
I don't want you to get hurt because of us.
Damien lowered his head in shame. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He truly cared. Damien let out a small sigh before looking to me with a new smile. He hid his sadness well. I could tell he was still upset about the whole ordeal.
All right. You should sleep.
Damien gently pressed me back down onto the bed, resolving what had happened. That's still a kiss. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. Damien's face. I quickly pulled Damien down to me, lifted my head and gently kissed him, softly laying a hand on his cheek to keep his face close. Damien stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, caressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of our lips. A soft sigh escaped his lip before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red in the face at a simple gesture. Let out a satisfied sigh before nuzzling my forehead.
Go to sleep.
Yes, Mom. With that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself for relaxing into the mattress.
How pathetically sweet.
Hey, idiot! I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly uneasy. She was here. Oh, she's appearing in our bedroom? I was not expecting that. I quickly looked around the room, sitting up straight, before seeing Diana leaning against the window to smirk towards me. What do you want?
Oh, I just wanted to see how close Damien was to you. Obviously, he's very close.
Fuck you. I stood from the bed, glaring daggers at Diana. And what is it to you? He doesn't want to leave with you, so leave him alone.
Oh, I will. I don't care enough for the bastard son to try and take him away. I just want you to know exactly what you have.
Okay, what do I have? What are you talking about? Diana chuckled, which made me slightly sick to my stomach for some reason. She knew something.
Did Damien tell you about what he lived through?
Not really. He showed me when he left. He met with...
No, not that. Before that. Did he show you anything before that?
No, but I'm guessing his father tortured him. Well, he was cornered by the Demon Lord.
He didn't show you everything, did he?
I'm pretty sure he's at least 18 like me. That's a lot of stuff to show. Of course he didn't show me everything. Why would he need to? He showed me what he needed to.
I don't need to show her anything else.
Oh, this time it's the opposite way. Instead of us watching Diana speak with the demons, the demon watches us speak with Diana. I turned to see Damien, staring at Diana with a scary glare. I felt dark shivers run down my spine as I stared at him.
Ah, Damien. Right on cue. I was just about to show her why you hate your life and why you have a human fetish.
Don't say it like that. Although I guess maybe you have a demon one?
You will not show her anything.
Oh, I won't. Funny, I don't believe you get to tell me what to do, bastard son.
Before Damien or I could leap at her throat, Diana snapped her fingers, suddenly making the room spin. I quickly grabbed onto Damien, who helped me close as the room slowly began to change from my room to the demon castle. Well, this is different. What the fudge? Really? I looked around, feeling unable to move from Diana's embrace, out of dizziness. I looked at Diana, who was leaning on a pillar on the far side of the room with a smirk. However, my focus gathered on a pair of demons, one of them being the demon servant that was with the demon lord, carrying sheets and books across the room.
Damn that woman ordering us around! I bet she thinks she's all high and mighty just because she bore that bastard son. Well, she's no queen. She's a simple harem girl. She'll never be queen. The demon lord reminds her that every bloody night. You'd think she'd let it sink in.
How does the demon lord remind her? The snort that erupted from the servant's nose disgusted me to no end. How vile was this creature? What was he talking about?
And about that boy, what do the other noble sons think about him? They treat him like an equal. He's no noble son, and he will never be. He's a bastard child that doesn't know his place, just like his bitch mother.
Can I slap him? Please let me slap him. Or at least pretend to.
Shh, you know he can read minds from a mile away.
Oh, another demon servant?
Then let him read mine. I don't care. That boy is a monstrosity never meant to be born.
Huh. The servant cleared his throat, however, at the sight of the demon Damien, who was sitting nearby with an almost dead cold look on his face.
Ah, you.
Yes, me. I don't need to be a mile away to hear your thoughts.
Boy, what?
What I'm doing out of my room is no longer your concern. I may be a bastard, but I'm the Demon Lord's son regardless. I won't take insults from you anymore.
Damien? Holy hell, is he going to hurt the servant?
Then what are you going to do, bastard son?
Damien started to step forward. I don't know why, but the room suddenly felt cold and dark as Damien started to approach the servant.
I'm finally gonna shut you up.
If you threaten me, you threaten him.
Huh. Damien's glare could practically kill. I was afraid to even watch, but I continued, hoping not to see blood spill from this fight. Damien continued to walk towards the servant, towering over him like a shadow.
I've taken your insults for long enough. Now, I get peace.
So I guess Damien finally snapped, huh?
Stay away!
I've had enough of you.
Damien stopped, turning his head to look up at Archie in surprise.
Mother?
The demon servant slowly turned, also matching Damien's surprise as they looked to the archway. A figure, completely covered in a red sheet, stepped out into the hall, slowly walking to Damien. The thick sound of chains echoed in the room, dragging across the stone floor. What? I felt something in my gut tighten, unsure of what was going on, but positive something wasn't right about it. However, the familiar smell of blood entered my nose, only it was fresher and much more potent. My gaze slowly trailed down the stone floor, only for me to go wide-eyed at the sight. Blood burst over by the sheet as the woman walked, and painted the stone a dark red, an almost black color in the woman's wake. Wait, what? That was a very long sentence. I looked back to the mother, now worried that she was bleeding underneath the sheet.
Leave us.
The mother sounded almost enchanting, despite only saying 2 words in her arrival. I almost let it slip from my mind that this was merely a vision. The servant glared before walking off, mumbling incoherently under his breath. The other demon with him giggled as the servant's inability to fight back. I guess Damien's mother was powerful enough to silence anyone. However, one fact stuck out to me. His mother was a Heron girl? I imagined chains on her covered feet, making me frown. It was terrible to imagine.
What are you doing out? He'll hurt you if you aren't.
Damien stopped talking, staring at the woman walking towards him in a sudden calm demeanor. A hand slipped out from the curtain, gently caressed Damien's cheek, making him almost melt into the hand. Damien looked to his mother, a look of hopelessness on his face.
Why do you want me to turn around?
Just listen to my thoughts, like you always do.
Huh. I watched as Damien slowly nodded and turned around.
As you wish.
Focus on my thoughts.
I could tell that Damien was holding his breath. He must have cared very deeply for his mother. It was incredibly sweet. Silence lingered in the room, obviously because of Damien listening to his mother's thoughts. It was almost awkward to watch. The hand that held Damien gently patted over his hair. The breath that Damien was holding slowly was let loose, letting Damien relax. This was calming him down. He was pretty angry, but why make him turn around? All she was doing was patting his head and talking to him in her mind. It seemed surreal. Something was wrong. I looked around the room, trying to see what was going on behind the scene. Was someone going to stop them? Was someone going to interrupt? My eyes landed on the dark shadow of a woman walking towards the couple with a knife in her hand. She had shackles with chains on her neck, hands and feet, but they remained silent as the woman neared the couple. What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Are you gonna try to kill him? All of a sudden, the mother brought out her other hand and took hold of Damien's arms, pushing him to his knees. What the fuck? Damien, no! Shadow quickly started to run at the couple, raising a knife higher above her head. I instantly wanted to move, to run and protect Damien. I remained still, watching the scene unfurl before me.
No!
Damien kicked back, causing his mother to buckle and fall back and release his arms. Damien quickly turned and grabbed hold of the Shadow's arm, tightening his grip on them. The Shadow started to scream and bite Damien desperately. Damien glared and threw the Shadow at a nearby pillar, making it disappear and dropped the knife it was holding. I looked at the mother and regretted looking. The sheet that was wrapped around her wasn't long enough to cover her as she fell, the heads landing over her stomach and covering her upper body. The lower half of her body, though, was covered with multiple different scars and blood. Her ankles were both shackled to different lines of broken off chains. Her legs were together, but I could tell the number of scars and the amount of blood only increased the further up her legs you went. The poor woman. I stared as the demon looked to his mother in shock and heartbreak. The real demon around me gripped to me tighter.
Why?
In an instant, his mother raised her hand to the fallen knife, tensing her hand and fingers to bare nails. The knife flew off the ground and into the woman's hand, making her grip over the handle tightly.
Enough. I can't. I don't want to live like this anymore. I won't let him have me again. I won't let you invade my mind again.
What? The woman quickly got up onto her knees and raised her knife over her head. I felt my mind screaming as I gasped.
I can't take it anymore! I
What the fuck?
No! Stop! Enough!
Holy fuck. I felt my voice vanish as I watched this woman, Damien's mother, sink the knife into her own body, curling over herself at the stab. After a choked sob and breath, the woman fell to the ground, curled into a ball as blood pulled from under her and the already blood red shit. So I'm guessing the blood from before was from his mother.
No!
Rolled around me shattered at his voice, stabbing through my heart and my stomach. Like glass, the world fell apart and I was left in darkness. The real Damien gripped onto me, burying his face in my shoulder as I gripped to his arms. That really happened? What did I witness? Why would Diana reopen this kind of wound for Damien? Finally, the world returned back to my room with Diana back by my window.
The Demon Lord, despite his sadistic pleasures, loved Damien's mother beyond anything else, even his own wives. When she killed herself, the Demon Lord blamed Damien and his ability to read minds.
Oh no, so that was Damien's blood.
The only ones who convinced him not to kill Damien were his brothers. So the Demon Lord granted Damien his life. But he would be doomed to become a lowly slave as soon as the eldest became lord.
Huh. I looked to Damien, who had a face of both murderous hatred and pure sadness as he glared at Diana. The woman he glared at, however, simply chuckled.
So, one day, he was visited by an angel who told him about humans and painted him a pretty picture about them. Now, he's obsessed with it.
Why are you telling me this? Why are you doing all of this?
To butter you both up, of course. I'm about to give him the chance to have his wish granted.
What? Damien and I stared in pure disbelief. Was Diana serious? She was a nut job. Then I laughed, seeing both of our faces.
I needed to see how well you could handle his past. You can't have true love without seeing all sides of your love, now can you?
Well, mocking tone aside, I guess he's kind of right. Diana then looked fully to Damien, crossing her arms. Something about this struck a fear chord with me, but I watched in silence.
I offer you this, bastard son. I have the ability to turn you completely human. No magic, no mind reading.
You're lying.
Am I? Read my mind. See for yourself.
Huh. Damien stared at Diana, only to go wide-eyed at her.
You're not. But
That's right. Your humanity for your brothers.
No, Damien, don't. I looked to Diana in surprise. What? She wanted him to hand his brothers over to her? That was underhanded and cruel.
Think about it, Damien. You can finally be human. You won't hurt anyone anymore. You won't put her in danger.
I could see Damien look at me instinctively, making me look back at him. He had a look of fear which scared me. Was he going to say yes? Was he going to say no? I wouldn't know what to do in this situation.
All I ask is that you completely willingly let me take your brothers back home. No big deal if that means you get to be a human with the girl of your dreams, right?
Shut up, Diana, go away!
no.
Oh, thank God.
Excuse me?
I said no. I will not give my brothers over to you.
I could see Diana's anger flare up like a snake ready to strike.
You do realize what you're denying yourself, right? You're giving up your one chance to become human.
How can you make him human, though?
I'd rather remain a demon than let my brothers be your slaves. Now leave.
Diana gripped her hands into fists by her sides and glared daggers at Damien. However, she didn't move to strike. She raised one of her hands and rubbed her temple in pure anger.
Then I'm curious, Damien. What would you trade for your humanity? You wouldn't go so far as to have sex with me for it, would you?
What? Damien remained silent. I looked to Damien, expecting him to answer, but why was he not replying? My mind went into a mini frenzy. Was he? Was he willing to have sex with Diana for it? Then let the large surprised smile appear on her face at Damien's silence.
Or would you? Interesting. And if I were to offer that?
What the fuck? What the hell is going on in here? Again, silence. Damien wouldn't. He couldn't. Not with her. No way. I don't know. I mean, sex for them is kind of banal, I'm guessing, so I don't see why not, although really? What the fuck? Yet at the same time, I felt that he was the master of his fate. He had to say yes or no. It wasn't my place to decide that kind of change. One part of me felt betrayed, but the other part of me almost wanted him to go through with the idea. For Damien's humanity. Damien remained silent still. Why was he not making a choice? Diana turned her gaze to me before smirking.
Ah, I see.
Huh?
Well, I guess you've proven useless to me. You're not going to say yes with your little princess around.
Huh. Hey, don't princess me. I'm the mermaid. You're the princess. Kind of. In this case, we kind of get married, but doesn't matter. A purple pentagram slowly appeared beneath Diana's feet, letting us slowly sink into it.
However, in case you do change your mind, call me. I'll be around.
Okay. And with that, Diana left us alone in my room. I finally let out the air I wasn't constantly holding in my chest, relaxing from the ordeal. Damon stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you all right?
I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. Damon let out a sigh, relaxing in the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning my embrace slightly. I could hear Damien's heart beat, and he held me close in his arms. I felt safe beyond words. Are you okay?
Yeah, I am.
I looked up at Damien, happy that he was okay. Damien blushed, moving a strand of my hair from my face to look down at me. However, he suddenly pulled away, looking down at his feet.
I should go. You still need rest.
No! Before I could speak, Damien turned on his heel and rushed out of the room. I stood there, staring at the door in a daze. Did that really just happen? Oh, hell no, let's go after him. There was no way I was letting him get away from me after all of this. I quickly followed him out of the room, spotting him turn the corner to go downstairs into the lobby. I followed quickly, unsure of where he was going, but determined to follow him to his destination. By surprise, he turned the collar and pushed open a wall, sliding into it and closing it behind him. I followed and repeated the action and earning entry. What the fuck? When did this? How did Damien know of this place? I walked down a small flight of stairs and continued through the dark secret hallway, unsure of what to see at the end. What was my grandfather hiding in here? Was it a magic room? The secret study? I didn't know. I felt steam gently brush against my skin, making me shiver slightly. A boiler room? I was wrong. Oh. I was led to a door that opened to the outside. From the direction I was going on, how far I went, I was a little past the backyard. And I opened the door, the sight made me gasp. I was greeted by a hot spring, private and isolated from the world. Was it magic? Was it just placed conveniently here? I wasn't sure. However, my eyes traveled to a Damien, who was staring at me and surprised that I had followed.
Your grandfather told me of this place.
Huh? When?
When we first came here. Before we had dinner, remember?
Uh... My mind went back to the day we met, remembering when Damien was looking at an empty space and speaking to it. Oh, so it was our grandfather. I knew there was something going on, but I didn't know what. You were talking to my...
He died, yes, but his spirit remained here while Malix chased us. Once Malix was no longer a threat, he left this place, knowing that we would take care of you.
Ah, could not believe what I was hearing. He had been watching over me?
He didn't want you to be alone when you moved in. When we were attacked, he guided us to this house. We didn't know it was to protect you until after you went to bed that night.
Huh. There was so much information I felt nauseous. I felt myself falling back before Damien rushed over and held me close.
Whoa, careful!
I gripped onto Damien, feeling his warmth surround me. Everything was happening so fast, I didn't know how to contain it all. Yet, for some reason, I felt safe and secure in Damien's embrace. Was I crazy? Probably at this rate, but I didn't care to think about it. My mind went from static and crazed to calm and at peace in his arms. He wasn't using any incubus powers on me, though. I looked at Damien, seeing at last a deep love in his eyes. He cared for me and wanted to protect me beyond anything else in the world. We would have left long ago if that wasn't the case. Hearing my thoughts, Damien smiled at me, in order affirming them. I felt my heart flutter a bit, making me forget what chaos I went through. You really love me.
Yes, I do love you. More than anything.
Aww. Damien gently caressed my cheek, leaning his forehead against mine.
I wanted to tell you everything sooner, but I couldn't find the words. Now everything's come at you at once, and I really...
I brought a hand up, silencing Damien again. I understand, just tell me things earlier next time. Damien let out a small laugh and nodded. I knew he'd make it up to me one day, but one question festered in my mind. Obviously, Damien was curious too.
Do you love me?
I stared unsure of how to answer. Could read minds, yes, but I was sure he couldn't read the conflicting feelings of my heart. I'm not sure about that, but okay. I felt a storm raging in my chest, trying to dig up the answer. My mind still frazzled. I let my heart guide my answer. Huh. Oh, yeah, I love you. I loved him and wanted to give him exactly what he wanted. What does he want? I just leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. Damon let out almost a surprised gasp against my lips before wrapping both of his arms around my waist, pulling him close to him. I moved my arms up and around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deepen to a heated height. My chest was pounding, giving me a feeling see fireworks in my mind. Damon was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was also supernatural to fall in love with someone so quickly. Maybe it was the sense magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I found myself melting at the thought of him being with me. I found myself combing my fingers through Damien's hair, letting the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. He gently nibbled on my lower lip, asking me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slid up my neck and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him as the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Gently though, Damien slowed the kiss out and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt and buckle in his arms. I could feel myself melt already. Damon opened his mouth to speak, but the very small blush ran along his cheeks. It was reduced to a shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't need energy, though, right? Are you?
No, I just...
I stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. Is this going to fade into black, or is this going to describe the whole thing? Well, son, Was I that appealing to him? Was this passion really that deep for me? Damien gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I'll understand.
I could feel my mind go numb and poor at the idea. More than an incubus, it was a demon of sex, purest form of lust and desire. My world was broken, I would enjoy every second of it. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Anna wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him, especially this early? I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew then what I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment? Oh my god. God. Hold me? Oh, it's him. It's okay to say no. Okay. I wasn't ready, but I still wanted to give him the love he wanted. Holding me close was all I needed, all I wanted. Part of me grew fearful of what... Yeah. Part of me grew fearful of what Damien would think. Would he hate me? Would he regret giving me his love? So many stories ended when sex wasn't given, and I didn't want his story to end. However, Damien smiled and caressed my cheek happily in response, nodding in understanding. I could tell that he was okay with my decision, which made my heart flutter in joy. Oh, thank God, because I have no idea if this would just fade into black or describe it. And I was not ready for that, although I'm guessing it should fade into black, hopefully. Because no, I don't want to read that out loud. To the internet. Damien gently leaned in and kissed my lips once again, wanting both of us to cool down from our passionate high. I kissed back sweetly, feeling the heat in my chest die out peacefully. Damien pulled away slowly, looking into my eyes to reveal a deep love that haunted his colorful irises.
Alright, let's get you back to bed.
What's with all of you and sending me to bed? I'm just gonna get stolen by Diana later. Damien then wrapped an arm around my shoulders and lowered his other arm underneath my knees. I easily held on to him as he lifted me up like a blushing bride and carried me away from the hot springs and back towards my bedroom. He was kind enough to know my limits, and I trusted him to respect my choice. He wouldn't enthrall me to go against my wishes, nor would he force himself on me. He was perfect. He immediately lowered me to my bed before patting my head with a loving smile. I was beaming in happiness. I didn't want it to end. As Damien turned to leave, I quickly grabbed his arm. Wait. Huh. Damien froze and looked back at me, awaiting my next command. I was going to obey no matter what I said. But he was anticipating what I was going to ask. I could see it in his eyes. However, I just wanted him to be with me a little longer. I didn't want to rest alone. Hold me. I repeated my words, holding another meaning to those two words. Was he okay with what I wanted? It was so close to what he had asked for. It wasn't going beyond what I desired. He even took in my words and smiled, nodding before turning back to me and sliding into bed with me. I was surprised, but I happily melted into Damien's arms as they wrapped themselves around my body. I rested my head against Damien's chest, enjoying the warmth it provided as I closed my eyes. He truly loved me as I loved him. My rest with him was as peaceful as could be, the best sleep I had in days. When I opened my eyes, I felt Damien still holding me. He had fallen asleep. His sleeping face made me giggle softly. The reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was laying next to a man I had grown to love with all of my heart. His warm embrace made me feel safe, and, for tender moments replayed in my head, I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened. It made me sit up without waking the man next to me. God damn it. Felt my legs move and bring me to my balcony window. I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. Hey, bitch. I stared wide-eyed at Diana, sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony. The glowing gold eyes stared upon me. My mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away.
Huh, this is different.
I will admit, though, I'm shocked that you didn't give your innocence to him. We demons are the best lovers, you know.
I glared. What do you want, Diana?
Well, I wanted to extend a deal to you. I promise you'll like it.
Oh, really? I don't want any deals with you.
Not even to make Damien human?
Let me save. I'm not giving you the boys.
I'm not asking for the boys this time. Ugh.
I stared dumbfounded as I looked to Diana. She rubbed her temples, clearly annoyed.
This whole trip has been a waste of my time and energy. All I want to do is go back home and take over my kingdom.
Then why don't you?
Because I need more energy if I want to even try to defend my home from that maniac demon lord. I may be brilliant, but I'm not exactly fortified to fight him.
Huh, is this the teaser for Seduce Me too? Because I know there's an achievement we get from getting the teaser for the second game, and this sounds a bit like it. I pressed my lips together in a flat line, not sure what Diana was wanting. Then I'm listening.
I'm willing to turn Damien human if you're willing to give me your energy and his.
Huh. Wait, what?
Simple, really. Give me the magic you're holstering in your body and let me take Damien's, and I'll be on my way, and you'll get a human boyfriend. A boring, plain, human boyfriend.
Huh. I couldn't believe my ears. Was Diana really offering this deal to me? How will you take this energy?
From you, a simple kiss will do. From him, that's a different story.
Huh. What do you mean?
I have to sleep with him.
Okay. Okay. I almost lunged at her. She must have been joking. Or sleep with him? No way in hell. Diana held her hands up in defense.
What you humans don't understand is how we demons work. A touch is a mere sip of energy, while sex is a pure energy transferal. Perfect for humans. A really passionate love-making session would drain any demon of their energy.
Huh. But he's...
Yes, he's your man, but I need the energy and you want him to get his wish. We both win, get it? I'll even throw in a memory spell. He won't even remember it.
Remember what? I grew enraged. How was she okay with this? How did she expect me to be okay with this? But what if he doesn't want it? I'm not going to let you rape...
If Damien doesn't want it... Silly girl, do you not understand what he's willing to do for his humanity?
I froze. Diana smirked.
He's willing to have sex with me. He just won't say yes in front of you because he doesn't want to hurt you. It's rather pathetic.
Huh. I couldn't believe my ears. Was this the truth? No way, it couldn't be. Yet at the same time, this made sense. This is why Damien was so silent for the first time she asked him. Was it true because he didn't want to hurt me, or was he actually not willing? Diana's voice broke my thoughts.
By the way, I'm not a total bitch if that's what you're thinking. I will ask him first before doing anything.
Okay, that helps. What? Was going to ask him? Why? Will ask him? What if he actually doesn't want sex with you for his humanity?
If he says no, I'll just toss him back here and not change him. I'm not willing to do it with someone who will say no to me.
Okay, that's good to know. The way she talked about this deal annoyed me to no end. This was definitely a business deal, but this still tore at my chest. Let him sleep with her, and you'll become human. Don't, and you'll remain a demon. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, he wants to be human, so... Damien's face popped up back into my memory, reminding me of his desperate wish to become a human. I was able to grant it to him right here. Diana was a cruel woman. Fine.
Fine. Meaning you'll agree to my terms.
Yes, I agree to your terms.
Beautiful. Now.
Diana slid down from the railing and walked to me, gently running a finger up my neck to under my chin.
Your energy first.
Yes. I closed my eyes, not wanting to look at her as she kissed me. The kiss wasn't pleasant by any means. In fact, I felt myself melting into the kiss more so than I wanted. Every single nerve in my body tingled as energy spiraled up my entire being and into Diana's kiss. Soon I felt a little weaker and a little more vulnerable than I was before. Diana pulled away and smiled down at me.
Such an interesting human girl. Sad to see you give up your powers so easily.
My dad powers? It's for Damien.
Right. Now, speaking of the bastard son...
Huh. Diana walked into the bedroom and toward Damien, looking down at his sleeping figure.
Oh, such a sweet thing.
Shut up, is mine. And I'm only doing this because he really wants to be human. Otherwise, I'd have tried to stab you. How are you going to...
I'll enthrall him, take his energy, cleanse his body, make him forget, and then cast the human spell when he goes back to sleep. Simple, really.
Hey, you said you were going to ask him. Enthralling him is not asking. That's it?
That's it. I'll make sure there's no trace of me when I'm done.
Just do it before I change my mind. You said you were going to ask him.
As you wish.
Anna chuckled before snapping her fingers, making Damien vanish from my bed. I instinctively panicked, but caught a hold of myself, remembering what was going on. Remember to bring him back.
I will. A demon never goes back on their word.
Huh. And with that, Diana vanished. I felt my stomach stirring in disgusting patterns at the thought of Diana with Damien. However, before I could even flex a muscle, Diana reappeared, adjusting her hair back to normal. What?
What? Oh.
Diana let out a small laugh as I raised an eyebrow.
I brought into an isolated tear between our worlds. There, time moves much faster than in reality, so I was able to take what I need and be done.
All okay? Diana snapped her fingers, making Damien reappear in my bed as if he never left.
And there he is, Clean and human.
I quickly ran to Damien's side, not sure what else to say. Anna sighed and popped the hip while crossing her arms at me.
Pity. Damien had so much potential, even for a bastard son.
Can you? Before I could speak more, Diana vanished into the air, leaving me alone with Damien. I looked around a little paranoid. Should she just be hiding? But as I clarified to myself that she was gone, I looked to Damien and brushed a strand of hair from his face. Human. Something about this was bittersweet. He got what he wanted, but he had to sleep with Diana to get it. Again, they're sex demons. I don't think they care that much about sleeping around. I slipped back under the covers and into Damien's arms. Feeling him unconsciously hold me close to him, I cuddled close, letting sleep take over my mind. Morning had come, and I was well awake for Damien. He was still in my arms, sleeping peacefully as if nothing had happened. I really hope that Damien was aware of what happened. One thing was certain, though, he was human. He was no longer a demon, he was a human, as he wanted. I waited for Damien to awake, waited to see him realize that he no longer had magic. I didn't have to wait long. Damien slowly opened his eyes, stretching and rousing up. I held my breath, waiting for him to make the realization. He wouldn't be able to read my mind, he wouldn't be able to use his magic. Damien's eyes landed on me and his face grew a smile.
More.
His voice instantly grew silent as he stared at me, his smile slowly fading into a look of shock. His mouth opened, but his eyes showed his speechless surprise. Damien couldn't read my thoughts. Damien slowly sat up, keeping his eyes on me as if he was trying to figure out if he was in a dream. I gave a little smile to him. It was almost too cute to see him like this. Damien brought a hand to my face and ran it over my cheek. I closed my eyes, feeling his warmth.
I can't read your mind. I don't have magic anymore.
I opened my eyes again, smiling at Damien's surprised expression now. Thanks for my magic and energy. Diana gave you your humanity. I stared, growing almost frightful as Damien's eyes began to water. His hands on my cheek lightly began to tremble. I didn't know if he was angry or happy, so I preferred for the former. I was expecting him to grab me and hug me tight enough to press the air out of me. I guess as I felt Damien hold me close and tightly, he was trembling. It only increased my fear. What melted my heart was the sound of Damien weeping into my shoulder.
I'm human. You made me human.
Yes? I wrapped my arms around Damien, burying my face in his shoulder and nodding. You're human now, Damien.
Thank you.
Aww. Damien pulled away slightly and put me into a kiss, one that was passionate and full of love. I managed it to be one of the greatest kisses of all mankind, for Damien's love filled every part of my body. I was happy. The rest of the story can almost be passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal, with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never even appeared in my world. One thing was for certain, however. Damien loved me, and I loved him just as much. We had promised our lives to each other. Nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. All of us was powerful. It practically overwhelmed me with joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. What was even better was that Damien was really happy. He was human, as he always wanted, and he showed me his gratitude every day. The other boys decided to leave off their own accord. They knew that my future would only need Damien at my side, so they each decided to start their own lives in the human world. Damien understood perfectly, wishing his brothers the best. Besides, Damien was a human now, and he had found someone to care for. His brothers didn't need to worry about him, now that he was caring for me. And I was caring for him too? I felt bad as well for being closer to Damien than the others, but he reassured me that I was okay, that he would remain nearby should I ever need them. I was happy for that. He made me promise, however, that I would love Damien for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. One morning, one morning, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had the moment to myself, so I sat in my room, took in all that had happened as if it was all a dream. The demons, the devils, the magic. It all was surreal to believe. It was almost frightened me to think that it could have been all a dream. But the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, the love I had, all real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, wishing the feelings dancing within my soul.
Are you okay?
I looked up at last to see Damien by the doorway. Smiling at me, I smiled back. I was just thinking.
Oh? What about?
I was just remembering how we met in shot.
Really now?
Yeah, and I wouldn't change anything. I smiled in assurance at my own words. Everything I went through, everything I did for Damien, I'd do it again, and 10 times over. Damon walked over and sat beside me, wrapping an arm around my shoulders.
You wouldn't change anything?
Nope. Damon looked at me with an almost knowing smile. He knew something, I just didn't know what.
I know about the real deal that made me human.
Huh. I instantly felt myself go pale. He knew how Diana put the spell on his memories to make him forget. What do you mean? Damien stood up and walked to my window, staring out.
My
Staring out.
humanity in exchange for your energy and mine.
Yeah. I quickly stood up. Damien,
I know that you agreed to let Diana take my energy if she agreed to remove my memories and make me human.
I'm sorry? Damien. I walked over and tried to reach out to him. I felt myself stop before even touching him. Choice was coming back to haunt me. I felt hopeless and powerless. Didn't know what to do. My heart was ripping itself in two. However, Damien looked to me with a smile.
Well, Diana didn't make me have sex with her.
Oh. Okay. What? I looked to Damien, raising an eyebrow as he wrapped an arm around my waist and pulled me to his body.
She took my energy, yes, but through a ritual. Demons don't completely lose their energy through sex. So she decided I was not worth the lay and simply put me through a draining ritual, used only for demons who were going to be executed.
Huh. But she made a deal.
She didn't have to remove memories if she didn't have sex with me. She still kept to her word.
Huh. Was completely dumbfounded. I was played. I was completely utterly played. God damn it, Diana, you freaking bitch. That bitch. Damien laughed at the obvious anger on my face, pulling me close and leaning his forehead on mine.
Still, to think you'd make me sleep with her just to get my humanity.
You wanted to be human, and there was no other way I could think of. Damien kissed my forehead.
No. There wasn't any other way.
I'm sorry. Damien lifted my chin, making me look up at him. I felt completely guilty. I let him be taken over by Diana, and he could have slept with her all for his humanity.
Don't be sorry. You wanted me to be happy. If anything, you sacrificed a lot more than I could have.
I pressed my lips together, not wanting to feel more guilt. I knew I was trying to make you feel better, but I felt utterly gross for letting that choice happen. Damon laughed before I kissed my cheek, making my guilt slightly shudder.
I understand why, okay? Please, don't beat yourself up over this.
It was a very dumb and bad choice, okay, Damien? I felt tears run down my cheeks. I didn't even deserve to be held by him. I felt sick to my stomach at myself. I tried to pull away, but Damon held me tight, not letting me get away. No, let go.
Hey, calm down.
Damon pulled me closer, pulling my head with chest and trying to soothe my crying. I gripped onto him, conflicted at myself. I wanted to get away from him, but I needed to hold him.
Diana thought you were very brave to make that decision. She respected you for making that kind of sacrifice. It's not easy to give the one you love away like that for their happiness.
Damien lifted my head once again, word of love within his eyes.
I love you so much. I don't deserve your love at all. You gave me everything. You made me human. For that, I can never repay you.
Aww. Damien. Before I could finish, Damien pulled me into a kiss. He reminded me of all the love we shared and all the love we would share together. I gripped onto his shoulders as he held me close. I pulled away from the kiss slowly, looking up at him slightly pained in guilt. You forgive me? Aww. Damien smiled and lifted me up, wrapping his arms around my waist and looking up at me with the happiest and most loving smile on his face.
A lifetime with the woman I love is well worth forgiving you.
You have green eyes now? I felt a large smile grow on my face, happy tears now painting over my cheeks. I love you, Damien.
I love you too.
Didn't want to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my life. There were no words that could describe the emotions within me. Felt joy, happiness, ecstatic high all at once. Here I was with the man I could be with forever, holding me like I was his greatest treasure. The past was behind us. We had a future to meet. And that was my happily ever after. And Damien humanity. Yes? I don't know what that is. But I do believe we got a good ending because before we just had the fade into the main screen. Yay! My god, this is gonna be a long episode, I think. Because I've been recording for an hour and a half. Oh my god. So is this the end? New poster unlocked Demon War. Oh, okay, this might be for the teaser for the second game. This was very fun, although those last choices were, my god, they were very hard to make. So this was good. We finally got the actual ending. Well, bye till next time.